Hey folks, Mark here. Um, Let me tell you a story of my youth. I was walking home and I was baked. Okay, and I was like, doo, 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 doo. I'm feeling no pain, right? And this was when I was so young. I did stupid stuff like that. Well, I'm a long-haired hippie freak, and who should pull up but members of the No, actually, it wasn't LAPD. It was Culver City PD. Yeah. Okay, remember I mentioned them? They made, like, LAPD under Daryl Gates look warm and fluffy? Yeah. Well, so I'm stoned, and out of the car steps, or the passenger side of the car steps, and this was like in the 1970s, the first female cop I had ever seen. Wow. Being stoned, being a smartass, my first response was, "Hey, look, a pigette." Did you know that brick wall doesn't taste that good? Okay. Yeah, this was back in the days when cops would kick your ass for lipping off. Okay? Those days are pretty much long gone, but you can still talk yourself into an ass beating. Or, as another cop once told me, I've never had anybody talk their way out of being arrested, but I've had many people talk themselves into being arrested. Right? Which is important. Good thing to remember. But, having said that, and I mean, I have to tell you, I failed the personality test. Guess what? I got my ass whooped. My brother also got his ass whooped because his friend, well, another wrong way. You had the right to remain silent. What you lacked was the ability. Okay? His friend kept on lipping off at the cop, and the cops tuned them up. Okay? My brother did not know the. Well, nah, hey, whatever happens to him is on him. I'm cooperating. Okay? Um, Another story along those lines. I had a friend who got pulled over he was walking with his friend, and his friend started lipping to the cop. And the cop is getting madder and madder, and my friend is just sitting there. And then he looks at the cop and goes, "Excuse me." Cop looks at him, and he decks the dude, knocks his ass out. Right? And the cop looked at him and goes, "Did you just hit your friend?" And he goes, "Sir, I figured it was a matter of time before you did it, so I did it because he'll take it less hard that I did it." And the cop sat there for a second and said, "Well, it's a good thing I didn't see it." My friend says, "That's why I waited until you blinked." Okay? So, now, all these stories are predicated. The raw truth is, if you're going to run into a hostile cop, 95% of the time it's because of your behavior. Okay? You did something stupid. Okay? Now, having said that, one of the times I was looking down the barrel of a cop's gun, I happened to look like somebody that they were looking for who was really, really violent. They saw me and recognized I was violent, right? So, hey, there I am looking down a cop's gun again. Shit. What do you want? But most of the time, it's because you or somebody you're with has screwed the pooch. Okay? So, there's no denial on this. Okay? If you see a cop getting pissed off, it's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit upset. I'm a little emotional. I'm sorry that I was acting up. I will behave." Wow, really fun, cool. Tensions drop like a paralyzed buzzard. But what do you do when you run into a hostile cop? Okay? It happens. It really does. Okay? First of all, we've talked about known behavior. We've talked about don't look like you're about to attack a cop. You actually now have to communicate to the hostile cop that you are not looking for trouble. And by that, I don't mean, man, I'm not looking for any trouble. What's your problem, cop? God, I wish I was joking. Okay. You know, I used to go around armed, and I wore a dagger or a knife on my belt, right? So I would have to communicate to the cops because they knew, like, whoop, there's a tough dude with a knife. Okay, we want to talk to him. Okay, fine. Cops walk up. First thing I do is I'd stand there with my hands out, away from my body, right? And before they even said anything, I would say, all right, I know, 2 fingers on the hood of the car and step away. Okay? Now, I'm telling them this ain't my first rodeo. But the other thing I'm telling them is that I'm not a threat. I'm standing here with my hands far, far away from the weapon, right? And yes, back when I carried a dagger, it was a weapon. Okay? Then I'd walk up, I'd walk up to the car, I'd turn, and with 2 fingers, I'd pull it out, right? Keeping it, here. God, I'm getting old. I'm doing this now with my glasses instead of a knife. I lay it on the car, and I walk away. I turn my back and go like this. Okay? Well, this is why I often refer to the fact that unless you're in bondage, I've spent more time in handcuffs than you have. Okay? Because yeah, I'd be cuffed. Just because you're cuffed doesn't mean you're arrested. Okay? It's the officer doing that for his safety. Now, if you remember that a lot of times this kind of behavior comes from fear of officer safety. Okay? Okay, fine. He's scared. Do you handle a fear-biting dog by yelling at it? No. I'm going to beat you, dog. No. Recognize that, yeah, you're dealing with a fear biter. Okay? What does he need to feel safe? Okay? Yeah, you got to do the dog and pony show. I mean, I discovered a long time ago I can talk just as well with my hands handcuffed behind my back as I can with my hands free. Okay? I make sure I don't do anything that could be looked like I am going to be hostile or trouble. Okay? And if the guy wants to call me something, okay, you know, that's, you just kind of nod your head and go, okay, fine, I'll put up with this. Okay, I don't know where he's going yet, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut, let him get it out of his system. And it's like, look, I am cooperating. I don't want any trouble. Tell me what you need. Okay. Obviously, that puts him in control, and he feels more comfortable about this. Now, mind you, this is the same, you know, like if you have a concealed carry. Okay. It's debatable if you want to tell the cop whether, you know, you're armed. It's also debatable if you live in a state that it pops up on you on when they, you know, run your plates. They say you've got a concealed carry. Okay. In the state I live, it's not supposed to, but it does. Right? So, yeah. Oh, no, we don't have that information available. But, you know, the thing about it is, if I'm sitting there with a traffic stop and my hands are on the wheel, my glove compartment is already open because, you know, I tend to open that up when the cops pull me over. So they can look in and see there's nothing there. Okay. I've got my insurance, my driver's license. It's all right there. You know, I hand it to him. And, you know, my hands are in plain sight. Right. I won't tell a cop, you know, typically I won't tell a cop that I'm armed until he asks me to step out of the car. If he asks. But see, I'm sitting here being a responsible adult. We're discussing things, you know, um, you know, there's no need for him to be afraid of me because I'm not going to give him reason to. Okay, and if he's hostile and you react with hostility, it's just going to escalate the situation. So, hostile cop, it's like, the cop walks up and he goes, "Are you armed?" Right? "Yes, sir, I am. Would you like to, how do you want to play it?" Right? I'm asking him, I'm going to take whatever steps are necessary to assure the cop that I'm not going to kill him. Right? Now, that's where a lot of these people who believe that they have the right to flip out on the cops really screw up. Okay? So, if you're dealing with a hostile cop, think about it this way. You have to be the mature one. And basically, talk him through, ask him what he needs, ask him what he wants, meet the standards. And if you cooperate, what's going to happen 9 times out of 10 is he's going to mellow out. Okay? I mean, I had a cop once, after doing the whole, I know, 2 fingers. We're chatting and I'm telling him I got good reason for what is going on. It makes perfect sense. I'm face it, I was just going to, we had a fat burger that also was owned by Filipinos and they had Filipino food. And it was really cool food to have, and it was just across the park from where I lived. Right? So I'm walking, where are you going? From my home to, right? Oh, okay. And, why do you have all this stuff on your belt? Well, I wear it at work. Are you at work? It's like, no, but I don't take it off my pants, and, I just leave them on. Right? So it's on my belt. Oh, okay, fine. And, all my reasons checked out, and, he was winding down, and he goes, "You're probably wondering why I stopped you." And my response was, "No, I know why you stopped me. If I was you, I'd stop me too. I know what I look like. I look like a dangerous individual. So, yeah, I'm not taking it personally." And he laughed, and he goes, that's it. That's why. And it's like, yeah, I know, but, I'm just going to go get some Filipino food and then go home. It's like, okay, no problem. And he drove away. I went and got Filipino food. Like I said, if you deal with a hostile cop, you can de-escalate them by cooperating and asking them what they want, right? And when they tell you what they want, no problem. Okay? I mean, I've had a lot of conversations with cops where, they had my weapon. Hell, a couple of years ago, my daughter comes in and says, "Hey, there's somebody, roaming around the property." Right? I come walking out, and I am nose to nose with about 5 cops with their guns out. Oh, guess what? I have my gun too. Right? So here I am nose to nose with the cops, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" And they said, "Yes, sir, Castle Rock PD." And it's like, hang on one second. I stepped back inside. I put my gun down. I walked out again, showed them my hands. It's like, "Hi, what can I do for you?" It's like, "We have a report of a prowler." And it's like, "Well, we haven't heard anything, but, yeah, go ahead and search the property." Okay. So, here's all these people. It's like, "Oh, yeah, well, if you do that." And it's like, dude, I've had cops point their guns at me. I've been nose to nose with cops when I have guns, right? And if you know how to behave, you can usually talk your way out of it, okay? But start by knowing that they're afraid, okay? So, yeah, I went from an armed citizen to an unarmed homeowner really quick, and it worked out. Nobody got shot, including me.